Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy 3-hour program lined up today. Of course, we will hit the entire bracket, all the games, point spreads, team totals, bracket tidbits, regional odds. They have props up, such as how many buzzer beaters we're going to get. We'll talk about that coming up on today's program. Nick Bogdanovich, Sports Gambling Hall of Famer, longtime Las Vegas odds maker, in studio in 15 minutes to go over his observations, what he likes, what he disliked. He's in studio today for half an hour. Christopher Mad Dog Russo later on. You can smell a rant coming.
Yes.
After what took place yesterday. I would say that, over years, it used to be to me like the bubble teams where you wanted to break something like 20, 25 years ago. Then, as we got older, I think you really realized that just how awful the committee is at seeding teams. And that's really like what sticks out to me. That, and also, do the games even matter at this point? Specifically like the conference tournaments? They're never going to get rid of them because it's a money grab and they want those, all those games on for the entire week and the television and all the rights for it. Obviously, people are going to be watching, millions of people from coast to coast. But a couple of examples here. Florida beat Tennessee twice. They beat Auburn. They beat Bama twice, including on the road. They had 30 wins on the year. They just marched through the SEC tournament, the best conference we've ever seen. And yet, with a 30-4 record, they're the fourth overall number one seed. They have a much better resume today than Auburn does for the number one overall seed. That makes no sense to me. Also, why play the games in the Big Ten? Michigan, collectively, they were 4-1 combined against Wisconsin and Purdue. Just won the Big Ten championship game. 4-1 against those two teams. They're a 5 seed. Purdue's a 4. Wisconsin's a 3. I totally agree with the people who said this immediately during the reaction yesterday, and that is, if Michigan lost at the gun to Maryland on Saturday, which they almost said they would have been a 5 seed, but they win that game, and then they beat Wisconsin for the title, and they're not rewarded whatsoever?
Yeah.
And then just the whole debacle with Louisville in 8. They're a top 10 team.
Yeah, yes.
And they're an 8 seed.
We started off with a bang. I know, right off the bat. And the expression and look on Kelsey's face said it all. 18-2 in the ACC. They had won 20 of their last 21 games before they lost to Duke. 15 combined quad 1 and quad 2 wins. 8 seed. And then we got to the Carolina mess, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It still bothers me. It still pisses me off. Good for the West Virginia governor. But I know when we had Ed Graney on Friday, who works out here and works for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, he said it in passing, but it's like, well, of course they're going to get in because the committee chair is their AD. And then you see all the bonuses and incentives he gets because they make the tournament, and then what happens if they actually win games? We're talking maybe $500,000 here. So spare me this I leave the room business, which, if you believe that, I'm playing shortstop for the Yankees. And this is the most egregious I think I've seen because they went 1-12 against quad ones. They were 0 elite wins. That only big win, tournament team, was against UCLA in December, and UCLA gave the game away. 1-10 against the at-large field, 0-8 against the top 20, but rewarded because they played a tough non-conference SOS? Get out of here.
Sure. And by the way, we've seen plenty of mid-majors do that before. They'll try to load up with the non-conference because they know that if they have a couple of losses in their conference or they don't win their conference tournament, they'll probably get passed by the committee and say, no, you're not good enough to make an at-large bid. And they have never been rewarded by playing like an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. Like, nobody's out there beating the drum for a mid-major saying, boy, but they played everybody. There are no wins, but they played everybody. Great net rank. Remember when RPI mattered the most?
Right.
Now, the net rankings might make me want to throw up.
Now they're using the net.
Our RPI was the be-all, end-all until, look at this. There's a team from the Missouri Valley, number 21 overall in the RPI.
That's right.
But they don't deserve to be in.
Yeah, they got like 5 teams in that year. And I think the Mountain West got a bunch, and they said, well, we have to fix this now, right?
Can't have this anymore.
I have never heard that before. Well, they played a tough schedule, but they didn't win games. But at least they played a tough non-conference. That's laughable.
Of course.
That's stupid. It's like the Texas thing, too. Just too many losses. A conference should never get 14 bids. I'm standing on that. You should never get 14 bids. Xavier also. Xavier and North Carolina combined 2-21 against Quad 1 teams. And then West Virginia, which I did question when they lost to Colorado, but I thought West Virginia could be in trouble if we had bid thieves. Humans is right. We'll count Colorado State. So we had one bid thief after 5 last year. But West Virginia beat Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, and Iowa State. Hoops Peterson didn't even have him on the bubble. Most people had him a 9 seed. Lenardi had him last 4 buys. And for the governor to come out and say, quote, this stinks at the highest level. It doesn't pass the smell test. He referenced all the incentives that Bubba Cunningham gets. I want folks to let that sink in. Any way you slice it, it reeks of corruption.
Sure. I mean, there's no question when you have the chairman, right, of the committee,
it looks
who happens
terrible.
to be the AD, and
Terrible.
now it comes out like, look, if they get in, it's a $100,000 bonus, and oh, by the way, it can go up, and basically the bonuses can match a salary for the most part if they keep winning games.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to leave the room for 5 seconds. Oh, that's great, but we've been hanging out with him for the last 2 months. So there's going to be zero impact from knowing this guy whatsoever. Sure. Good job, boys.
And San Diego was not getting in if they lost Saturday.
No, of course
with
not.
30
They were
wins.
out.
30-4, won at Utah State. Nope, weren't getting in. Gonzaga, an 8 seed. Get out of here. St. Mary's a 7, right? Some of this stuff. Oh, man.
Terrible.
Yep.
Again, more for the Louisville thing. How about this now?
Sure.
When you look at their overall seed in history and compare it to where they are in the AP, ranked 10th in the AP, but 8 seed overall in this tournament. It's the worst seed ever for a top 10 team. The previous was a 6 seed. Kentucky is ranked 18th in the poll, but they're a 3 seed. That's the worst AP ranking for a 3 seed since 2010. It just every year you scratch your head like. And by the way, again, how not everything here with the ACC all wrapped up in one. So you put North Carolina in, but they were plus 450 to get in. That'll tell you.
How about Indiana?
They were minus 3,500 to get in. But Carolina was plus 450 5 minutes before the selection show yesterday. So you put them in, even though they only had one quad 1 win and a zillion chances, a team out of their same conference, Louisville, you put as an 8 seed. So you're kind of like, directly, taking a shot at the conference right there anyway by making Louisville an 8 seed. But as a result, you're going to put North Carolina in anyway. How? It doesn't make any sense. And then Louisville is an 8 and Clemson is a 5. What are we doing here? That doesn't make any sense on any planet.
Yep.
So there's completely clueless when it comes to this stuff.
Right.
The number one example is 20 years ago now, so I will date myself. I'm watching at our buddy, I've said this story 100 times, watching at my buddy Adam Hill's house. Louisville was a machine that year with Pitino. They put them up a 4 seed. They should have been a 1. And guess what happened? They were favored over 1 seed Washington with Nate Robinson that year, and they won by 20. No kidding.
Yep. You referenced this the last 2 weeks nonstop. Bracket matrix. 111 bracketologists. All 111 had West Virginia in. Indiana 90. North Carolina 27. Lenardi had them out. Jerry Palm had them out. They both had West Virginia in. Palm's last 4 in. West Virginia, Indiana, San Diego State, Boise. First 4 out, Xavier, Texas, North Carolina, Wake.
Oh, so he was 2 and 6, basically.
Yeah, and then Lenardi had Boise last team in, UNC, Texas out, obviously West Virginia in. So, I mean, most people agreed, almost everyone agreed with Lenardi, that it's too many losses for Texas, and North Carolina didn't beat anybody. And then they went out without flag, and we're down 25 to Duke. Get out of here.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Sure.
And it looks so bad. And as Mike Florio said, of all people, but he's from West Virginia, ProFootballTalk.com covers the NFL. He goes, they're going to keep doing it until something happens to him, or you call him out, or the West Virginia governor threatens litigation. I mean, it's laughable.
I really wonder in my head, like, how many other, non-blue blood programs would have gotten in, all things considered, exactly the same as North Carolina's resume. Not many. They're plus 450 to make it.
Yep. They just played the brand name bias game.
Of course.
Right.
Now, how about this? Right before
Absolutely.
the show started, I saw this at CKP Sports on X. Do you have futures on Michigan State or St. John's?
Yes. The unranked angle.
You see this?
I read that, yes.
All right. In the 64-team era, there have been 36 teams to enter the tournament as a 1 or a 2 seed that were not ranked in the preseason AP poll. They have combined for 0 Final Fours, averaging fewer than 2 wins per tournament. Good luck, as he says, to St. John's and Michigan State.
Tough one, I know.
Wow.
I see that and I raise you. All time, when the Mountain West is a 10 seed or worse, they're 1-24 straight up. They've lost 22 in a row. All 4 Mountain West teams are seeded 10 or worse.
They've lost 22 in a row?
Yes, when seeded 10 or worse. All 4 teams are. New Mexico's a 10, Utah State's a 10, San Diego State's an 11. Colorado State, even though they're favored, they're at 12.
Wow.
22 in a row.
Jesus.
Come on.
I have not seen a prop yet for that conference. We have other conferences we're going to get to. I have not seen that one.
What do you make it? 2 heavily juiced to the under? Colorado State is favored. I mean, that's
maybe 1.5.
Heavily juiced to the over? Or no?
I think it'd be juiced a little bit to the over, but not much. Honestly, I don't think you can go 2 because that's a suitcase bet to the under.
Oh, that's crazy. That is embarrassing.
And Colorado State's favored over Memphis.
Right. That's also impossible. 22 in a row?
Right,
How many of those are you favored? How many of those are pick 'em? Come on. Sharp week. Turn tournament chaos into betting opportunities with a VSiN Pro subscription. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today, just $9.99. Unlock everything you need to win this tournament season. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits from DK and Circa, full VSiN access, expert analysis, trends, and pro betting systems. The March Mania betting guide coming tomorrow. Join the free VSiN March Bracket Challenge. You can win $5,000 by picking team sides or totals. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get in $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Well, I stand corrected. There is a prop up for the Mountain West, and I think you're going to be shocked by the number. I'll share that, and we'll get to Nick Bogdanovich up next here on VSiN.
Waters are stirring, and we're ready to strike on VSiN's Sharp Week. Starting Selection Sunday, VSiN will be your captain for March Mania, helping you navigate the madness and land that big bet. Join us as we break down the brackets and provide expert analysis on every game, delivering insights only VSiN can offer. We've stocked the ship with our March Mania betting guide, giving you everything you need to chart a winning course through the biggest betting tournament of the year. Dive headfirst into the free VSiN March Bracket Challenge. Sink or swim for a chance to win up to $5,000 by picking team sides or totals. We're doing it all. Special coverage throughout the tournament, best bets from hosts and handicappers, and a chance for you to win big. Set sail with VSiN, the sports betting network. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe to join us for just $9.99 for the first 30 days. And don't miss Sharp Week, where you're going to need a bigger bet. That's VSIN.com/subscribe.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Sharp Week on VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is Sharp Week here on VSiN. What a time of year. Weather's awesome outside today in Las Vegas. Brilliant weekend. St. Patty's Day. This place is absolutely crawling. And longtime odds maker here in Las Vegas, Sports Gambling Hall of Famer Nick Bogdanovich joins the program now. Good to see you. How are you?
Great. Best week of the year. I think the first 4 days. Well, I hate Tuesday, Wednesday. The NCAA had to screw that one up. 64 was perfect. Started on Thursday. You got 3 days to regroup and recharge. I think that it's nonsense for the playing games. That's just my 2 cents to start the show off. But, yeah, no, it is the best 4 days in all of sports.
Okay, so before the break, we did find and you guys have not done it yet. You will post them sometime, tonight, tomorrow, maybe the conference odds or whatever, how many wins by conference. And we said, is there one out for the Mountain West? Pauly, repeat what you said going back as a 10 seed.
1-24 straight up all time. 22 losses in a row when seeded 10 or worse. All 4 of them are 10 seeds or worse.
So gut reaction, what would you think the prop would be for total wins by the Mountain West Conference in the tournament?
You know, every year is different. But I do like personally UCLA over Utah State, so that would be one off. And, you know, obviously a lot hinges on that first game, San Diego State, North Carolina. It's going to be a monster piece of the equation. So I know all the talk shows from here to New York have been talking about, does Carolina belong in or not? So I think everyone's trying to figure out if either one of those two belong in. So, but yeah, no, I would shade Mountain West under for sure. I think it's I wouldn't say it was a down year for him because I think all the years are the same. I think people expect too much out of the Mountain West. You're talking about small budgets. I mean, Kruger's making $800,000 a year at UNLV. I mean, and UNLV is one of the upper echelon Mountain West teams. So I think they overachieve. I just don't think you compete with those big 4 mega conferences. So, you know, I think it would be priced fair, but I think they get a bad rap.
All right, Pauly.
1.5 heavily juiced to the under?
I think
so. You're saying I say 2.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I mean,
2 heavily juiced to the under.
Well, then react to this. Right now, I'm looking at 2.5.
Oh God.
Under is minus $1.60.
Yeah.
2.5.
He's right, though. It all depends on. I mean, the key to this whole thing is the San Diego State North Carolina game, right? As the play-in, they get that one, and then
they don't count that, do they?
That does count.
The play-in does count.
That does count. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
That does count, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a great game. I mean, because of the drama involving North Carolina. North Carolina likes to run like crazy. San Diego State is a low-scoring, lock them down defensive team. So that's actually a good game to start the tournament. So I can't wait to watch that one. That's one I will watch.
That's a big ask to get to 3.
I agree.
That's wow. That's incredible.
You said a couple of weeks back here on the show, you think Memphis can go on a deep run. They've had a key injury here.
That's the problem.
Okay, but did you agree with when that number came out yesterday as a 2.5-point dog to Colorado State?
I made it 1.5. So I made it, but I'm huge on Colorado State. I've ridden them like crazy down the stretch, so they've been awful good to me. So for me to only make Colorado State 1.5 really shows you how I felt about Memphis, and it's tough to gauge how much the kid is worth. They didn't miss him yesterday. They beat UAB unmercifully in the championship game. So yeah, I would have liked to see Memphis full strength because they have no fear.
Hell, some nice non-conference wins, too, and I ran right through that league. What's the biggest differences between your numbers and the actual numbers, your power ratings?
There was a lot of movement on the openers yesterday. Purdue High Point, I made it 7. We opened at 7. They laid 7 and 8. Finally, I think the Sharps jumped in and took 9, so that thing settled around 8. But that was a really good game that they bet yesterday. Kansas, Arkansas. I only made Kansas 2. I know Arkansas is a little shorthanded, but we opened 2.5. They laid 2.5, 3.5, and 4. It's up to 4.5. I mean,
one of the first bets I made was Arkansas plus 5.5 at another book.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be a take, doesn't it? I mean, Kansas has underachieved all year, and Arkansas is playing with house money. They're just young kids. You know, they won't. I don't think they'll feel the pressure. I mean, whether they play a good game or not is another story.
Sure.
What was the game you bet right away? And was it Bryant?
Yeah, went the other way on me.
He bet Brian, then it moved up. I think Brian can hang in this game.
Michigan State?
Yes, Brian,
Yeah.
Michigan State.
I made it 15.5.
Okay.
Yeah, they're athletic.
We opened. I think Richie made it 15. We opened at 16.5. They laid 16.5 and 17.5, and it's all the way up to 18.5. So yeah, no, Bryant can play. I mean, they own that. They own that conference, American East, that Vermont has controlled for the last decade, and they snatched it away from them, no problem. They were the best team all year long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Other games that you saw action on right away? All of them, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it was up and down the board. You can pick a game. There was probably action. St. John's, we opened 15.5. They laid 15.5 and 16.5. Like, Wilmington's not trash. I think I only made it 15. That's going to be an interesting game. They're all interesting. Really good card. I mean, I love the card. BYU, VCU. How does it get much better than that for a first-round game?
Doesn't it kind of stink that they're playing each other, though?
Yep,
100%, because those were two teams I wanted to follow.
Yeah, right.
And that's what you hope for. There's teams you want to bet against, teams you want to bet on, and you just pray that they're not matched up opposite of how you envision. And that is one of them. I had two teams I like to back. I made BYU 2. We opened BYU 2. They laid it. It's up to 3. But that one's going to be a monster handle first round game.
Don't you like Montana? They can score. They got a guy down low with some moves. They can shoot the rock, and they're getting a ton of points against Wisconsin. What happened with that one?
Yeah, we made it lower. We opened it lower, and they laid it up. And I think Montana's they're playing at altitude in Denver, so that helps them. They should have some pretty good crowd there.
Call.
It's pretty nice proximity. I mean, Wisconsin's got to travel a little, so yeah. Now that one's going to be a track meet. I think they can hang around, and if not, I think the back door is going to be open for them.
Oh, yep, I agree. How about UC San Diego, Michigan? UC San Diego this year, McNeese State. You think they're going to be too popular, too trendy? They're good.
It would have been if Michigan just didn't win the Big Ten, because there's going to be a lot of people out there looking the opposite. Man, they just won the Big Ten, and they're only 2.5 over against this lowly Big West team. So I think you'll see colliding forces there. We already seen that's the best two-way game so far. We opened 2.5. They laid it up to 3, and then they took 3, 2.5 to 2, and then they laid 2. So this one's going to be incredible handle. I mean, it's going to be insane.
Okay. What about Texas Xavier? What do they do with that one right away?
Texas and Xavier. Oh, that was a game I made pick'em. So I think Richie made pick'em as well. We opened at pick, and they couldn't get enough of Xavier. They laid pick 1.5 and 2 with Xavier. So we're up to 2.5 on that game, but I think Texas is live in that game.
Interesting. Very good. How was the weekend? Ton of favorites. Friday went into Saturday, 15 favorites straight up. We also didn't see a lot of chaos with a lot of the 1 seeds winning the conference tournaments.
There was no chaos. Yeah, a lot of chalk this weekend. It was okay. We had a decent week. So, no major shockers. So, no bombs came in to win conference tournaments. I guess the biggest bomb was Michigan. Mm-hmm. They shocked the world. We didn't write $1 on them in that pool. So Michigan was a good result for the house on winning the Big Ten tourney.
What did you guys offer them at?
I think the highest they were I don't know, like 22-1 or something like that.
To win the Big Ten?
Yeah,
is that right?
I saw 12. They were that high?
I believe so. I think that's how high we got. We didn't have $1 on them. Kept raising them.
They came limping in.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was horrible.
Sure. Colorado State? Was that popular, though? 4-1?
No, that one was okay, too.
Really?
You know who drew the money in that pot was New Mexico. We had quite a bit of New Mexico money to win it all. And they, listen, they let Boise and then let that game slip away. But I guess Boise didn't get in.
No, they didn't. By the way, in a situation like that, and again, for people who don't know the Circa, you take a lot of sharp money here. Pros who like to bet at Circa, obviously high limits. Was that sharp money, or was that because New Mexico brought like 10,000 people and they were staying downtown and they wanted to bet on the team?
No, it was an individual sharp better. So it wasn't the masses.
Okay.
The mass. It's funny, those conference tournaments. The masses don't play the conference tournaments all that much. I mean, they just don't. Never have historically. It doesn't matter how many customers you have.
Even the fan base that travel here really well. It doesn't.
They don't write a lot of action. There's a group of sharp bettors and a group of diehard college basketball fans that'll bet it, but the masses do not gravitate to that market for whatever reason.
Well, we've had some super strong fan bases play conference tournament games in Las Vegas over the last 20 years.
New Mexico comes in, Arizona comes in, Boise. Gonzaga for the WCC with super strong bases, but they don't. They're the 99.9% of them. They're just there to root for their team. They're not backing them in that pool.
Can you hang around for one more segment?
Yep.
Go over some more of these individual games.
Yep.
I also want to ask about if you're going to draw a line through any of these teams that you don't like near the top, you just don't trust them to win a national title. And also, I want to get into some projected point spreads here because we know how strong you are on Florida.
Yep.
Is there any team in the country favored over Florida today?
I got Florida 3 over the Lakers.
Awesome. That's great. More with Nick Bogdanovich next.
Sports bettors, this is your chance. VSiN is bringing you an unbeatable deal. Get a VSiN Pro subscription for only $9.99 for your first 30 days. That's over 65% off the usual monthly price. With VSiN Pro, you get access to exclusive insights, expert picks, and in-depth analysis that break down the odds in real time. Plus, you'll wake up to daily picks in your inbox, all for just $9.99. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is Sharp Week on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We continue here on Sharp Week on VSiN, talking about the madness. We're live in downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, longtime Las Vegas odds maker, sports gambling Hall of Famer Nick Bogdanovich. Is there a dog that you like right away in their matchup, based on who they're playing, to maybe not only win one game but maybe a couple of games here?
Like the small dogs. There's no real major big dog that, I mean, I could see some, but none that I'm going to back. I mean, I like Creighton against Louisville. This thing's up to 2.5. We opened at pick, and they played Louisville pretty good. I don't know how much they're factoring in the fact they're playing in the state, but I like this Creighton team a lot. I think they're well coached. I think they got the type of team that's built for the tournament. So and then they got a much more tournament experienced team than Louisville. So I think Creighton can win that one pretty.
What the winner of that game against Auburn in Lexington, if it is Louisville with the home crowd there, what would you make that number?
Who would they get?
They'd get Auburn.
Auburn and Louisville. I'd have to make Auburn like 10.
Oh, that high?
Yeah. Wow.
You would. So, did you think the 8 seed for Louisville was appropriate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not one of those guys, a big seed guy. Should they have gotten a 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 9? I don't worry about any of that. I know that's an impossible job they have, and they're going to get some wrong. But yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, I don't see anything egregious with it.
Okay.
Nothing bothered you?
I don't look at it. I don't even
Really?
look at it. Yeah.
Gonzaga and 8? Nothing?
Like I was doing the Matt Human show driving home last night, and he was asked if I was shocked if North Carolina got in, and I said, I really wasn't. That one didn't bother me. I know that they're going to get some wrong and some right, and the criteria is a mess. But yeah, I just put the 2 games in front of me. And we'll get some bets out of it.
Do you think Akron is live against Arizona?
I do. Akron's a team that they know how to win. They're well coached and they can score.
Yes.
Arizona's a team that can play to the level of their competition. They can play with anyone, or they can play down.
Akron can win the game.
Akron, yeah. And the big thing is, if these teams just can get deep enough, the underdogs get deep enough into the game where, hey, they know they can belong, and then the other team starts feeling a little pressure, things can happen. So, yeah, I definitely think Akron can hang with Arizona. I made it lower.
6 years in a row, they've lost to a team 4 seeds or worse.
Oh, my Lord.
It's incredible. It's nuts.
Yeah, so they might be up 17-2 in this game, Arizona, but I can tell you right now, I'm betting Akron first to 10, first to 15, first to 20. Because it's going to be super high scoring. And like you said, they're well coached, and they can score, with a ton of teams. So have to back them. What would you make if Gonzaga wins? They get Georgia, assuming they do here for a second. They'd get Houston in round 2. What would you make the Cougars against the Zags?
Boy, that would be an interesting game. Gonzaga up and down, and Houston obviously as slow as you can possibly get. Houston and the Zags, that means the Zags would have just won the West Coast Conference and then beat a good SEC team. So that means they got a little mojo and they're trending well. I would still have to make Houston, probably Houston like 7.5, 8 over Gonzaga.
They would,
Yeah.
I think the Zags would be popular.
I think so.
But they probably.
Yeah.
One more here. If UConn beats Oklahoma, they'll get Florida in the next round. What would you make Florida and UConn?
Florida and UConn, I'd have to make Florida like 11.
That high?
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So what do you make Florida Duke national title game neutral court right now?
100% Cooper Flag's healthy.
Yes.
I would make a dead pick 'em, but I would call my parents to borrow some money to bet Florida. So that I would do. But I've been betting against Duke all year long.
That's right.
I finally got one the other day. It only took a 20-point North Carolina run to get the cash. Of course, I had Louisville the next day, winning outright at half, catching 7, and Duke reverted old form and buried me in the second half. So,
sure.
Yeah, I've really grossly underestimated Duke all year long. Hats off to Shire and his team. They've played They played really well. I got to give them major credit.
No, they were incredible. We got lucky with Carolina. They choked, and then the lane violation. My God, what a way to decide a game. Did you?
But it was the right call. I mean, the kid did.
I know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. No, that's right. How about some of the stuff you saw over the Arizona fouls with 8 seconds left, down 6? Did you see the end of the Cal Baptist game in the WAC?
I don't want to because I took 8. I take it that hurt me.
Okay.
It was absolutely excruciating.
They hit a jumper with 1 second left to put it on 7. They call a timeout, and then they foul?
That's insane.
I couldn't
believe it. The game's over.
I know.
It's on 7 with 1 second. It wasn't on 7 with 4 or 5 seconds, and you just automatically do it because you're still playing.
Right.
You're walking off the court at that point. That's silly.
I couldn't believe it.
And the total impacted as well.
There you go.
Did
because of it? Oh, yeah.
There were 100.
I didn't know that.
There were 100 points scored in the second half.
Yeah, 50 to 50. I mean, yeah.
Right after nothing happened in the first half.
Yeah. Wow.
It's something. It really is. How some of these teams just play down, won't stop. Cal Irvine wouldn't give up. It's like the game's over. You're down double digits. They're playing like it's Game 7 of the finals. Fouling every time, shooting threes. Kid makes a 3 late. A ton of scramble points. It goes over.
Well, that's why a lot of people in these tournament games, they just bet the first half totals because Because when you're facing elimination, they could score 30 points in the last 3.5 minutes. They just keep doing it over and over and over again. You don't have to worry about the wacky ending.
I'm curious, by the way, we started talking about conference win totals in the tournament, and the Mountain West is up 2.5. We thought that was a bit high. Under is minus 160 at DraftKings. And Nick Bogdanovich is with us here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You guys are going to post these this week. Obviously, the SEC prop, in my head, without even knowing the bracket, like on Friday, I'm like, what do you just make it, like 20? Yeah. It's 20.5.
It's the highest total of all time. Obviously, they got the most teams of all time, and they got 2 number 1 seeds. So, yeah, there's no number you can make high enough. I mean,
with 14 teams?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. They're going to be running if they somehow a bunch of them get through, they're going to be facing each other. It'll be like an SEC tournament broke out.
Yep. I'll give you one to watch. If we get Alabama, St. Mary's, and I hope we do, but St. Mary's has Vandy in round 1. That's going to be a tricky game. Yep. If we get Bama, St. Mary's, I completely agree with what Greg Peterson said on VSiN last night. St. Mary's will dictate what's going to happen in that game, and that will not go well for Alabama. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. I would love to see that matchup because it's the fastest team in the country, Alabama. No one plays more breakneck pace than them, and St. Mary's the most disciplined team with big, tall guys who can play. So that would be a phenomenal round 2 game. I pray we see it.
He also thinks it won't go well for Michigan. They turn the ball over. San Diego takes it away.
You know what?
And then the angle
I'll probably end up laying 2 with Michigan. I think they're just going to have too much for them. But Triton's been amazing all year long, and I think just the mere fact that the game's 2.5, 3 is the ultimate show of respect for the Tritons. That here's the Big Ten champs, and you're only getting 2.5. So, they will give Michigan problems. Michigan's going to have to play a good game to win it. They're not going to just stroll in there and hand it to them.
Can Drake beat Missouri?
100%. There's no question they can. Missouri is another team that plays incredibly fast, and I don't think will like Drake's patience and smart. So there's no question Drake can beat Missouri.
Good action when you guys first posted that game?
Yeah, I think I opened it a little lower, and the first bet was on Missouri. So the first bet was definitely Missouri minus the points.
Yeah, because you're higher on Drake anyway. So
yeah.
Okay, I'll give you, by the way, a Sweet 16 matchup. I don't even know. I can't even. I thought about this like 3 times last night. I can't even begin to think about who I would like in the game. St. John's, Texas Tech.
Oh,
how good is that game if we get it?
And that would be in what round?
That'd be in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal game. Off the top of my head, I would make that dead pick'em. I think both incredible teams. Both can win it. I mean, that's assuming Texas Tech is healthy. Right. I mean, their 2 kids sat out again just to get them ready for this week. I think hopefully they get to 100%. But if they were bad enough where they had to sit, you don't know if they're going to be 100%. But they may be by that time. But, yeah, I'd say it's like dead pick'em.
Good observation. Yeah. That's a great game. Man, one more quickly. Did they do anything in the McNeese-Clemson game? And do you think McNeese getting blown out last year helps them, or maybe the Will Made mess is too much.
Yeah. No, listen, McNeese is awful good, but Clemson's is a team that is so well coached. Brownell is one of the best coaches in America, but they're going to get the little guy's best punch. Will Wade's got himself a nice squad. I mean, they can play. So, but I do think Clemson will prevail.
Okay. Want to know where the money's going? Unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight where the sharp action's landing. Circa takes huge bets from pro bettors. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every sport to make more informed bets. Get it now as little as $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe. Your first month, $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Nick, thanks for the time. Great to see you.
All right. Good luck this week.
Yeah, back at you. Enjoy it. Win some, lose some up next, and more conference win totals here in the tournament.
Join Matt Brown and Mike Somich on Ready, Set, Bet as they get you ready to make your bets for all the weekend games.
We're going to be at the end of this thing with money guns, or I'm just going to be like, begging people for change out on Fremont Street.
It feels like the Twins and the Guardians have higher floors but lower ceilings.
Don't miss out on crucial advice for live betting once the game starts, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming action. Tune in to Ready, Set, Bet, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Sharp Week on VSiN, the sports betting network.
last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Well, Nick, think it was a lot higher here at Circa, but Michigan to win the Big Ten, I saw 12-1. You can chime in with what you saw, but they took no action on Michigan, and who would bet them? They came limping in, and you would think their luck would run out at some point. Most wins since 1981 between 1 and 3 points going back, what they've done.
Well, how they won the game on Saturday was all-time bad job by Maryland. Guys, stop the ball.
Yep, it's ridiculous.
Get in front of them.
Yep. Colorado State to win the Mountain West 4-1. Open plus 450. Never a sweat. No problem. They were up 30 against Utah State in the semis, and they were blowing out Boise from the get-go. That was easy. Magic ended the Cavs winning streak 4-1. Sixers plus 220. Grimes goes off in the win. Wizards plus 650 Saturday night. How? One in Denver. UFC Vera plus 550 to win by sub 12-1. Soccer, Man City, Brighton draw plus 330. Good job, beat man. Newcastle to win the EFL final plus 325. Open plus 450. Their first trophy since 1969. And earlier today, Rory won the players in a playoff plus 750. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send it in. We'll put you on. Go to the Palms. $125 bet. $125 a push on Dragon Link. Someone won $247,000. It's a nice pot of gold on St. Patty's.
Oh, I'd say so.
Oh, incredible. And Denny Hamlin hit a $126,000 jackpot on a Buffalo slot machine in Vegas as well. And he put it up there on social media. Incredible, right? Isn't it something? That's wild. Okay, I'm going to get Mitch's thoughts on this. This guy is a unit. He's a tank. He's 10 stories high if he's a foot. Bear coming in and scared off, thank God, by the camera flash. Look at this size. It's Revenant. He's coming after DiCaprio. Look how big that guy is. And then the camera flashes. Oh, he spooks him, and he runs away.
Yeah, I saw this making the rounds on social media, and I thought it was AI at first. Honest to God.
How big he is?
No, look at this dude.
I know. He's coming. Oh,
you have no chance against him.
Oh, no. Forget it. And he's running you down in no time. I can't believe that spooked him.
Hey, unless you have a candle and, scare him with some lighting, whatever.
Yeah, right. Lose some. College hoops, UAB from 7 down to 3 in the title game. We'll call Colorado State. Humans is right. One bid thief. Just Colorado State, we had 5 last year. Certainly that helped. Actually needed more of those. Imagine if they expand the crap that's going to get in.
No, I can't.
And they're going to do that, too.
No, they will.
I mean, you really, man. Bad for the books. A lot of favorites on Saturday. 15-1 straight up. And a ton of 1 seeds as well. Florida from 3.5 to 5.5. Friday in the Big West semis. Cal Irvine over. 154.5 up to 162.5. San Diego under. 143 down to 138. And Bama from 4.5 up to 9. Couple lose some videos. Lose some tweets as well. You sent this in. If something ever happens to Vegas and it falls apart and people just say no mas, let's go to Harrah's. 2 slices of pizza and a fountain drink. $26.99.
Yep. Compared to like last week when it was much less than that.
We're losing our minds.
Even then.
Come on.
Give me a break for the previous week.
Yep, absolutely. And Aaron Rodgers, according to multiple sources, waiting to tell the Giants and Steelers no if the Vikings tell him no. He wants to pull the Favre move. What do you think?
It's the best spot for him.
Uh-huh. But then just saying that, I kind of respect it if he says no, Minnesota or nothing, though.
So then he's going to retire?
I guess. That's what the reports say. Not interested in Pittsburgh and no to the Giants as well. Several bad beats. What we just talked about with Nick, the WAC Tournament Friday, doesn't make any sense. Ben Wilson on the call, too. Cal Baptist fouls after a timeout down 7. Catching 8 points. They foul with 1 second left out of the timeout, and it puts the game over as well and allows Grand Canyon to cover 100 second-half points combined. Insanity. St. Joe's Dayton under goes over in overtime, also a bad landing spot. 143.5 to 140.5. Duke Lane 6.5. Friday night, they were up 25 in the second half, lucky to win the game against UNC. Big West final. Irvine playing like it's Game 7 of the finals. Wouldn't stop, wouldn't give up. The under from 137 down to 134. They hit a 3 late. Ton of scramble points. Yale yesterday, 4.5 for 5. Cornell hits a 3 late. And Chris Massero had this. He had +7. I took 6. Arizona fouls with 8 seconds left. Down 6 as well. And I forgot one, too. One win some. Kirk Cousins gets a $10 million roster bonus. One playoff win in 13 years. After 2027, it'll be $411 million in his career, $329 of it guaranteed. I think he's made Brady money when it's all said and done.
He has the best agent in the history of sports.
Absolutely. And the time was right. Every single time. How he worked the system as well.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Eliminate
all the fake handicappers who are pitching fake records. Juice Reel bringing transparency to the picks marketplace. All betting accounts are synced. The betting history directly from the books. No hiding those bad records. They rank every bettor based on their actual record. Sharp bettors even get paid when others follow their picks. Check it out for yourself and download the app. Promo code Let's Go. $25 in free app currency that you can use to check out with the best handicappers on Juice Reel are betting. Free in the App Store. Get it now. REEL Juice Reel. Download it today. Get it, Juice Reel.
DraftKings, they put up props for these conferences and their overall wins in the tournament, I think late last night / early this morning. Your gut reaction to the ACC, Pauly. 4 teams in. Duke, obviously, a 1 seed. Louisville, Clemson, and North Carolina. The total is 6.5. Over -130. I think you kind of need Duke to go on a severe run here, and that's obviously baked into it.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Duke's path.
Tough. Yes, do I?
I think they can, like, no doubt, good. You know, they have a very easy path, I think, clear path to make the Final Four. So that would be 4 of them there.
Sorry, I asked Nick, what do you think of Clemson?
I think Clemson is very good.
I wanted to pick McNeese in the worst way, but I'm scared off now with the Will Wade stuff. Out the door at NC State.
Yeah. Do you not like Clemson?
I don't know.
Their numbers are, they're really, really good.
I guess you have to like their path. At least they should be able to beat Purdue if they can take care of McNeese. But might not go well against Houston. But then again, Houston just had some horrible luck going back. Miami made 80% from 3. Kid gets hurt. Shed gets hurt against Duke.
Sure.
You know, it's been tough for him.
I will say that the ACC prop, to correlate it here, tied into the Mountain West prop, which is 2.5, that the playing game tomorrow is massive. If Carolina wins that game, you all of a sudden need just 6 more from 4 teams combined, including Duke, a 1 seed. We just said we like their path a lot to make the Final Four.
Yeah.
But that's also tied into Mountain West under 2.5. If San Diego State loses that game, boy, you are holding a very nice ticket in pocket at that point. And the SEC prop is 20.5.
Yeah, I have to bet it over because I picked 3 teams to go to the Final Four. And
sure.
Yeah, and I picked an all-SEC final. So I said it last night where we were on the air in studio with Humans and Hoops. It's going to be like 85 Big East. I got 3 2 seeds, and I have 3 SEC teams in the Final Four and a Florida-Bama final.
Oh, what is that then? That's 15 wins out of 3 teams that you're expecting?
Yeah.
If you have one of them winning the title, playing an SEC opponent, and the other one making the Final Four?
Yep. And I've never liked Tennessee, but you have to love their path. UCLA's Fugazi. Utah State was a mess down the stretch.
Yeah.
Wofford was a Cinderella that got hot at the right time. Kentucky has a ton of issues. Not sure Xavier's that good.
I don't think Kentucky was a 3 seed.
Absolutely.
Factor in the injuries, no way.
Good call. Hoops doesn't buy it. I think Troy can give them a game. They were awesome in the Sun Belt final, scoring all those points in the second half and aggressive and attacking the rack. I think they can score at Kentucky and keep that close.
Looking at the Big Ten, 11.5. I think that's going to be a conference I want to be on the under. All right, I mean, the Big Ten, doesn't it like disappoint like every single year?
Yep. They haven't won it since 2000, and as the guys pointed out last night, the Big Ten conference champ has done horrible in the tournament.
I guess the teams that make the Big Ten title game,
yes,
they do not do well at all. The Big East is 5.5. I don't like Marquette.
I don't either.
I think they can lose in the first round. The Creighton-Louisville thing now, that open pick, Louisville favored.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is UConn. Man, you're going to need the Johnnies to go on a huge run, and then UConn, to me, that's an underplay in the Big East.
I didn't like that they did that. UConn and 8 and Gonzaga and 8. That's just silly. It was just as a bet. UConn should have been a 10. Gonzaga wasn't an 8.
Right.
Gonzaga should have been a 7. Something. Come on.
And I thought St. Mary's was going to be closer to the 5 line than actually a 7.
And most people had them there, and then they lost to Gonzaga, which you can't penalize them that much.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go region by region over the next hour. We will start in the South with the number 1 overall seed. We'll run down the numbers, some of the matchups as well here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy, really, with